Thank you, President Cohen. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. At last year's annual convention, a group of local activists introduced from the floor a resolution on CWA Next Generation Committee. The primarily young leaders not only wrote the resolution, but they gained the support from a broad base of convention delegates, younger and more mature attendees. Their resolution went beyond creating just a committee in name only. They clearly articulated the need to engage the next generation of workers within our union. This committee was put together with the representatives from all of our sectors, the division, and the districts, including both staff and local leaders. The committee, working under the leadership of Executive Vice President Annie Hill, began their work in March of this year, and they are here today to present their preliminary report to the convention. I'll introduce them now. Here in attendance today are Vera Michael, Local 2205. Tim Strong, Local 4900. Jeff Reamer, Local 13000. Carly Safar, Local 3865. Carrie Bennis from Local 14156. Marie Whitehurst, Local 52031. R.J. Humphnagel, Pittsburgh Guild. Dante Harris, SFO Council 11. And Jason Burns, Local 6401. Also on the committee, but not present today, is Gray Sampos, Local 1118. Raymond McHaffey, Local 3805. Sarah Stephans, Local 39521. Gene Broughton, Canadian Media Guild. Bob Hardy, IUE Local 84963. And Kevin Kimber, Local 6016. CWA staff on the committee are Ann Margaret Sanchez Tovar, District 6. Susie McAllister, District 7. Bill Bates, Beth Allen, and Kevin Salata from headquarters. I now turn it over to the Next Generation Committee for their preliminary report. Okay.
Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. The CWA Next Generation Committee would like to thank each and every one of you for your support in our efforts to prepare for the future by investing in our future leaders today to prepare them for tomorrow. The next generation of union members has changed significantly with the increase in social media outlets, worker mobility, and a decrease in service longevity, among other variables. Our goal is to prepare the current leadership for the challenges that our union may face in the future. Union membership has declined significantly in recent years. For this reason, identifying new activists, mentoring new leaders, communicating and organizing in a world full of change is integral to our success at rekindling the labor movement. In order to lead, someone has to follow, and in order to follow, someone has to lead. With that said, we'd like to present a short video that you'll find quite interesting and entertaining, to say the least. It emphasizes the importance of the role that both leaders and followers play. Enjoy.
If you've learned a lot about leadership and making a movement, then let's watch a movement happen start to finish in under 3 minutes and dissect some lessons. First, of course, a leader needs the guts to stand alone and look ridiculous. But what he's doing is so simple, it's almost instructional. This is key. You must be easy to follow. Now here comes the first follower with a crucial role. He publicly shows everyone else how to follow. Notice how the leader embraces him as an equal. So it's not about the leader anymore. It's about them, plural. Notice how he's calling to his friends to join in. So it takes guts to be a first follower. You stand out and you brave ridicule yourself. Being a first follower is an underappreciated form of leadership. The first follower transforms a lone nut into a leader. If the leader is the flint, the first follower is the spark that really makes the fire. Now here's the second follower. This is a turning point. It's proof the first has done well. Now it's not a lone nut and it's not two nuts. 3 is a crowd, and a crowd is news. A movement must be public. Make sure outsiders see more than just the leader. Everyone needs to see the followers, because new followers emulate followers, not the leader. Now here come 2 more people, then 3 more immediately. Now we've got momentum. This is the tipping point, and now we have a movement. As more people jump in, it's no longer risky. If they were on the fence before, there's no reason not to join in now. They won't stand out, they won't be ridiculed, and they will be part of the in crowd if they hurry. And over the next minute, you'll see the rest who prefer to stay part of the crowd, because eventually they'd be ridiculed for not joining. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how a movement is made. So let's recap what we've learned. If you are a version of the shirtless dancing guy, all alone, remember the importance of nurturing your first few followers as equals, making everything clearly about the movement, not you. Be public, be easy to follow. But the biggest lesson here, did you catch it? Leadership is overglorified. Yes, it started with the shirtless guy, and he'll get all the credit, but you saw what really happened. It was the first follower that transformed a lone nut into a leader. There's no movement without the first follower. See, we're told that we all need to be leaders, but that would be really ineffective. The best way to make a movement, if you really care, is to courageously follow and show others how to follow. When you find a lone nut doing something great, have the guts to be the first person to stand up and join in.
It takes guts to be a first follower. Our committee chose this video to encourage all of you, the leaders of CWA, to open your eyes to the potential of new ideas and ways of thinking about our union and our future. As a leader, having the courage to support new and different ideas and those members fostering that vision is what galvanizes and inspires and creates a movement within your locals and within our union. We discussed the fear that many of us may feel in fostering change, but ultimately, we believe our power lies in engaging our members and encouraging social, family, and community elements, partnerships, social justice, and a strategic vision to create a highly skilled, diverse, and well-educated membership that addresses the inclusion of today's workforce and inspires our union's growth. We would like to show you another video that will tackle some of the fears that we discussed and our beliefs as to the strength that new ideas may bring to our movement.
All right, you guys ready? Ready?
Yeah? Okay, let's go. Good afternoon. We're here today to discuss the Next Generation Committee report. We know that you all have many questions, and we hope that we can answer them for you today. Carly?
Yes, I'm all for getting more and new people involved. We just have so many committees already in place. I wonder if this is, one of those committees that isn't really going anywhere.
We know that the committee will not be here forever, but the work that we've completed, we hope, will build opportunities for the next generation of CWA activists and leaders.
Well, it sounds to me like you just want to get rid of all the old people.
Well, no, the committee's intention is to give you the tools to train, develop, and mentor the new leadership of CWA.
I hear that younger members just don't want to be involved.
See, that's the thing. We want to start the dialogue on how to get them more involved.
This is going to cost too much money, and we just don't have the time.
I totally understand. All of our actions are based on existing programs, and our online social activities are free. The new online toolkit will provide added resources to help in developing these programs in your local or in the district. And investing in our future is for the survival of the union. And if that's not a priority, I don't know what is.
There's nobody else qualified to do my job.
No one will be here forever. So it's our duty to educate, to train, and to mentor the new leadership and the activists that's coming up in CWA.
I believe it's time for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstentions? Thank you.
The 2009 resolution establishing the Next Generation Committee directed the committee to address the following issues. Issue 1, changes in worker mobility and service longevity that have occurred in the past decade due to the job market and what this means for the way the union operates. Issue 2, new organizing and mobilizing opportunities for the union through social networking, Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, blogs, texting, and other online networks and new media. Issue 3, getting the word out to future officers and activists about the union's resources and opportunities on training, mentoring, and communications. These include, but are not limited to, organizing institutes, leadership schools, higher education programs, and the Minority Leadership Institute. Recruiting and training of younger and newer activists for CWA's expanded organizing programs. In response to these issues, the committee recommends the following actions. CWA will create and expand programs to serve workers who are not connected to traditional bargaining units. These programs will provide networking opportunities, access to professional training and support through CWA Net, and a forum for shared political action while promoting the health, safety, and economic well-being of workers. CWA will also explore existing and new models for offering portable benefits and support to independent members. Ideally, this moves us toward a system where union membership and benefits stay with the independent member as he or she moves from job to job.
Action. CWA will continue to expand its online and social networking tools to communicate and stay connected with the membership and to build its list of member email addresses. In addition, as a part of the online toolkit established and maintained by the union, CWA will provide local leaders and membership with the training and resources, the guidelines that will help their locals benefit from using this new technology.
CWA will establish scholarships for one person per eligible district and sector to participate in the CWA's Organizing Institute and one person per eligible district and sector to participate in the Leadership School each year. CWA will also create a member internship program to support the work of the committees at the National Convention. These scholarships and internships will be for new activists who have not attended similar programs or the convention in the past. CWA will expand communications to encourage local participation for new leaders in training programs. CWA will continue next generation specific organizing institutes to address the needs of new activists, and CWA will incorporate training on how to mentor new leaders into existing leadership education programs.
Conclusion. The Next Generation Committee has spent the past few months researching existing programs at CWA and developing our recommendations. Because we did not begin our work until March 2010, we feel that we need more time to complete our work. In particular, some districts have already sent out Next Generation type surveys, and we believe that undertaking something similar at an international level would enlighten us to new members' ideas and make them aware of CWA's intention to broaden its scope and commitment to cultivating new leaders and activists.
Action. The Next Generation Committee will set up a web page to serve as a clearinghouse for information. The Next Generation Committee will also create a toolkit which will provide educational materials for locals to use with new members and examples of Next Generation committees to serve as models for local action. The Next Generation Committee will conduct a survey of newer members to identify what would motivate them to become involved. Action. CWA will establish a Next Generation SIF in order to fund the survey, scholarships, and related outreach efforts.
The Next Generation Committee will complete its work within the next 12 months and transition ongoing activities to locals and appropriate district and national staff. The committee will present a final report on its work at the 2011 National Convention. Thank you. And lastly, we'd just like to thank Vice President Annie Hill for her direction and support and her leadership throughout this entire time. She's provided a lot to us, and the committee thanks her for that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. As said, this is the first preliminary report from the committee, so action to accept will not be necessary, but we will call upon speakers who want to speak on the report. So I call upon microphone number 3, Jerry Rogers from Local 2205.
Thank you. I'm President of Local 2205 out of Newport News, Virginia. Delegates, I stand in support of the Next Generation Committee. For CWA to continue to grow in a slowing economy, we need this committee to work with all the locals to help us reach out to the younger members by educating them. In return, these young members will learn to organize new members, mobilize existing members, and learn leadership skills. I stand here today to ask delegates on this floor at this convention to support the New Generation Committee, and I want to thank you for the hard work.
Thank you. All right, I call upon Bill Henning, Local 1180, at the number 3 mic.
Bill Henning, Local 1180, New York City. I rise to add my voice to underscore how critically important this report is to the future of our union. As I do so, however, it might be to offer what I will call critical support of this report. Yesterday, in his remarks to this convention, President Larry Cohen exhorted us, saying we needed to be about taking risks and trying new strategies. He reminded us that we could not succeed if we were not ambitious, if we don't aim higher. He told us that with bold action and leadership, we were determined to move forward. Later, we heard from fast talker and our Secretary-Treasurer, Jeff Reckenbach, who quoted Mary Booth, "If we are to better the future, we must disturb the present." Sadly, my brothers and sisters, this report falls short of the mark. Last year, in motivating this resolution, I spoke to this convention as an old geezer. In October, I turned 60. 30 years ago, I spoke to a CWA convention, and I guess in those days, I was representing what we call the next generation. So if you will permit me, I offer some simple suggestions about how today's 30-somethings and 20-somethings need to go about taking their rightful place as leaders of our union. Did I say simple? Did I say suggestions? Let me rephrase that. Here is what you must do. You must fight your way in. There is a school of thought that says you pay your dues and you rise your way slowly through the ranks. Our times do not permit us the luxury of doing it that way, if it ever did. We need radical revolutionary change in our union and in our labor movement. Do not expect us, the elders in our union, to step back and invite you to take our places. That's simply not going to happen. You need to challenge us. You need to contest our ideas with your own. You need to be free to do stuff. And I appreciate the fact that you got a video from me 30 years ago. That was me on the hillside dancing there. You need to be free to do stuff, and yes, you need to be free to make mistakes. And if we are honest with ourselves, let's think for a minute about the impact of the next generation taking some risks and making mistakes. Can we be any worse off than we are now? How bad can it get? Over the past 30-plus years of my activism in CWA, the share of workers in unions has steadily declined. Over the past 30 years of my activism in CWA, the share of income from the increased productivity of U.S. workers has been stagnant, while corporate profits have zoomed. So I want to say a couple of things about why it's important. You know, Carly, I love you dearly, but you gave the wrong answer. The answer to the video that you should have given in the video about us old-timers getting out of there, your answer should have been yes. It's time for us to go. But we're not giving it up. You need to fight your way in. You need to make us respect your ideas. You need to understand and make us understand that the next generation of workers is what's going to build the labor movement in this country. A lot of us in this room think of ourselves as young people, but the reality is a labor movement with 60-year-old leaders is a very different labor movement than with 40-year-old leaders. And we need to make our leaders younger, make our leaders more vibrant, make our leaders speak for the next generation of workers. Our union demands it, our labor movement demands it, the working class demands it. We have to make room for you, and the only way we're going to do that is if you push us around. Thank you.
All right, we have someone at the questions mic, Bradley Harmon.
Thank you very much. My name is Bradley Harmon. I'm from Local 6355 in St. Louis. I'm president of the Missouri State Workers Union, and in the spirit of my brother from New York, I'm going to push you around a little bit. Why didn't this committee start working until March, when this resolution was passed last summer? And when we talked about how important it is for us to immediately start bringing and developing plans for the next generation of leaders for this union, I'm really concerned about why it took so long for this committee to start working.
I'll answer that for you. Unfortunately, there was just a lot of different things going on. And tomorrow we'll talk about how long it takes to put together a structure, and so how important it becomes for when we want to get things done to have that structure in place. So getting people to select people, putting together the right committee, we just didn't get started as early as we wanted to get started. I also have a lot of other responsibilities, so I'll take some of the heat for that, if you will, about not getting the group together sooner. But it is a great group. They have done terrific work, and they're ready to get to it and get the job done.
I have a lot of respect for the committee and a lot of respect for the mission of the committee, and I appreciate that answer. I guess my follow-up question would be, at the next convention, is this committee going to be able to have the resources and the time and support that it needs from the union to give us a more substantive plan on how we're going to bring about greater diversity, frankly, in age in the leadership of this organization?
Absolutely. We've already started, and that before we leave here, that we want to start putting together a plan about how we're going to continue the work that we've started here.
Thank you. And quite frankly, too, Annie's probably been somewhat kind, myself included. Some of the vice presidents were a little bit slow on getting our names to her for the committee, so there was probably some shared blame all the way around. We'll allow one more remarks toward the committee's report, and I recognize at the number 3 microphone Jennifer Towery from Local 34086.
Jennifer Towery, Local 34086, Peoria, Illinois, and I am proud to be next to speak for this report, and I commend the committee for the work that they've done and for their initiative in doing it. Our union and our locals are changing, and we must change too. It's long past time we stopped wondering how to reach out to our uninvolved members, to our new members, to our young members, and let them know what we do for them. It's time we started reaching out to the new members and to the uninvolved members and asking them what their needs are, what their skills are, what we can do for them, and how we can help them prepare to be the next generation of CWA leaders. The work of this committee is crucial, but it is a work in progress. They need our support to keep going. Even as we applaud all they've accomplished, we have to give them our support to go farther, do more. And they did do it in a very short amount of time. Here is the message that we should all be taking home to our locals, to our new members, to our young members, and our uninvolved members, and it is fewer than 140 characters. You are our future, and we need you. We need you to be involved. I urge adoption of this report and continuation of this important work.
Thank you very much. All right. If you will, join me as we let the committee go. Thank you for your report, and join me in, again, congratulating the future face of the CWA.